Welcome, guys, to coding or vibe coding with Nix while we sip on lovely kombucha. I decided to put this video together because obviously vibe coding is like uber popular at the moment, but I think there's a lot of confusion about what exactly it is. And yeah, look, my videos are all about my experience. So thank you for being here. This video will be about the experience I've had. And it's not a case of like being wrong or right. It's just this has been my journey, and I'm going to share this. I created this very cool slideshow. Of course, I used an AI tool. It's called Gamma, and shout out to Gamma, the AI agent that they've just introduced. Really helped me. And I mean that, like often a lot of these, they say that they've done something, the AI, and then they kind of don't. Well done to Gamma. And with that said, let's get started. So as you can see, the first sort of bit of the presentation is just to let you know that we'll be talking about vibe coding brands that I have personally tested, not because they're cool. I mean, the founders of Zite are the founders of Filat. And yeah, really, really cool bunch of people. But I haven't chosen them for that reason. I've chosen them because I've actually built on platforms like Zite, Replit, and Lovable. So yeah, that's why I made this little image. Again, shout out to ChatGPT, the image creator. I think I went through 2 iterations and I'm quite impressed. The spelling is there. They managed to find all the brands for me as well. So yeah, AI is only getting better and better. Of course, it has its limitations. So yeah, let's get started. Where did it all originate? Well, like most things with the legend that is Andre Karpathy, and I've actually made this link clickable. The cool thing about him is actually, you know what, that link, I don't want you to take us out of our actual session. I'm gonna keep it in the presentation, so you're welcome to go into it. But he basically coined the term. What it is essentially is that it's you no longer having to actually write physical code. You just speak to it like you do your AIs through human natural language, and yeah, you end up creating whatever it is you want to create, whether it's a Chrome extension, or if you're a beginner like myself, I would suggest starting with like a landing page or maybe some kind of game that you want to recreate from 1980s. That's what I do. I always end up creating Pac-Man games. So yeah, that's what vibe coding is. It's coding from a non-technical perspective. That was my experience. So you are limited because once the AI creates the code, you've just got to trust that there's no bugs in it. And when it says, cool, should I go with this framework? I just blindly trust it because I haven't actually studied computer science. So these are the limitations. And I think this is also why I advocate. Most people may say that I'm wrong, but I personally advocate that go and do a web boot camp. If this kind of thing interests you, why would you not actually go and study it and see how all of it is structured so that when the code is written, you may be able to contribute to that? Just my 2 cents. And then pretty much the AI that writes the code, that is legitimately the easy part. And I'm going to show you in a demo in a bit in Zite. The hard parts are all of these little sort of, I don't know what you want to call them, these little kind of brackets that I suppose that Gamma's created. So it's about like, well, what do you actually want to build? Because often the beginning point is, well, I actually don't know. It's the same with when you're looking for use cases with AI. Go easy on yourself. That's normal because we haven't had this kind of accessibility. It was usually only for programmers or like technical people. So yeah, just go easy on yourself. If you don't know, go and ask your friends or go online and go and do some research about what are beginner friendly no coding projects. Design for me matters because if you don't specify with your AI, my experience has been that I get very template looking returns or websites and icons where I'm like, oh, it looks kind of synthetic and it's not really what I want. So go and find out what it is that you want online. Like there's YouTube. You can go on Perplexity. There's so many resources available. Even check out communities like Reddit. And then, yeah, sometimes you might need a Google login or a database. These are all things that you will learn in time. In the beginning, just play. That's the whole point of vibe coding. Like, have fun. Monetization, totally. You might want to sell this for a couple of dollars, or you want to get a community going and get a monthly annuity income in. And then, of course, there's always security because it's all new and there are people sadly kind of hacking into these things. But all of this, please, will come with time. Just take a deep breath. Why is it vibey? Well, for me, I've actually created, and I've got an image here, I've got a vibe coding playlist. Like I'll put music on, grab my kombucha, I'll be all relaxed because it's beautiful. Smile, like for the first time ever, AI has abstracted the complexity. It builds the environment. You don't need to study code editing. So those things are for me just insane. And I've put a little link here where you can have a look at my Apple sort of my iTunes, my playlist, I suppose. And then try and avoid rookie mistakes. This has just been my journey. Like, obviously, I know what GitHub is. Researching and hiring developers was my background. But I didn't actually know things like committing and forking, like all the basics of GitHub. And that's why I've attached one of my favorite guys to learn from, Corbin Brown. And if you click into this in 10 minutes, you'll know a lot more. You need that because what happened to me when I say rookie mistake is I actually lost my source code. I asked it to make a small design change and it deleted all of my code. And I was obviously absolutely gutted because even though somebody was like, well, just go and recreate it, the nature of the tech we're working with is it's probabilistic. So it will never ever again create that exact same looking design and using the same topography and the same language. So yeah, my mistake was not backing it up to GitHub. So please do that. um, so that's my rookie mistakes. Researching, I think I've already touched on that. This is one of a very cool YouTube video. Again, it's explained in 8 minutes. It's not a lot of time. It's just things like what does it mean when people talk about UX or UI? Because that's a massive thing when you're building for the possibility to sell. What experience do you want Nikki to have when she comes on your app? Must she just click the whole time, or do you have scrolling capability? Because people do get fatigue when they're using apps. So go and study that science. There is a psychology to it. Where do you start? I would start where I started with no coding, and I've left a link here to a free crash course because it tells you, well, this is what you can do with no coding. And often, so I started there. Often I went I went to Softer and I went to their templates. That's a cool place to start because something exists, and you actually, if anything, you're making a few design and sort of topography sort of changes, I suppose. So that's kind of easier as opposed to nothing exists. So that's where I got my inspiration from, was my no coding journey. And then these are kind of where I would start. I think it's quite obvious. I said I would start with Zite and Replit and ChatGPT Canvas mode up. I recently built it was a Pac-Man game, I'll confess it, in ChatGPT and Canvas, and that was quite a cool exercise. Really badly built game, but that's not the point. I just was thinking, let me experiment, and that's also how you get better, is you practice and you show up in all of these little playgrounds. You can pay for all of these guys. I think at one point I did upgrade for Bolt because I was in the Bolt hackathon. Um, and yeah, you must just see where you feel comfortable. For me personally, I like the agents. I feel very supported because I know that I'm not a developer. So I need all the help that I can kind of get. And I'll show you in a bit. In fact, we can actually take a break here and I want to show you what it looks like. So this is Zite. This is where you come. And these guys specialize more for kind of business software. So that's why I decided, well, cool, let's create a website. And I've attached my company logo. You just got to come here and click it. And there's my logo. And I said, just create a basic website. And I'm going to actually say that basic. You don't want anything fancy, just because I want to demo it to you, where users can browse upcoming events or ease into AI. In fact, this could actually be a landing page, which is what I'm going to do. Just because I'm thinking of time here for this little tutorial. So create a landing page where users can browse upcoming events that ease into AI. And then I'm going to say, you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm going to take this bit out. I'm just going to say, create some dummy data, because I don't have that. Also, create a contact form for inquiries. And then the colors I've chosen, very basic. I just said lots of white space because I don't personally like a cluttered looking website, app, or landing page. And then I use my brand colors, black and white. And then I said add sketches of drawing in the style of kids art. So as you can see, it's a very basic prompt. My biggest tip, and it's here in the top of my Chrome bar, is use the prompt optimizer, because it literally optimizes your prompts. And say to it, give it a roll. I want you to act as a vibe coding specialist. What does that mean? It means someone that understands software. So you could even say, act as an experienced developer, because I'm building with my AI and this is what I want to build. And you'll watch how the prompt optimizer literally optimizes. I'll actually do that in one of my upcoming videos. So you come here to the right, you press the yellow button, and literally just like that, you can't, I always joke that you can't even go and get a kombucha or an espresso. Check. It's already creating a landing page for me. Designing it. It tells you obviously what it does. While that's happening, let's come back to prompting wisely. As I said, definitely use the prompt optimizer. Let's come back to my page of the coding assistants. I think I mentioned who they were. Last little bit of the presentation, do create what's called a PRD. Again, that fell under my rookie mistakes. When I did the hackathon, people were like, have you ever done one? And I was like, well, no, because I've never been a product owner or a technical architect or a programmer. And that's okay. Go to ChatGPT and confess that. Look, I'm totally new. I haven't got it the foggiest how to actually construct this. Would you please help me? And it created a very cool one-page PRD. And you know what? That's a start. So yeah, ask for help. Speak to your developer friends. Go to Reddit. Go and have a look at all the communities online, of which there are an abundance. Enjoy yourself. It's vibe coding. I know everybody wants to monetize and make money. It's like an AI gold rush. But first, study what it is you want to get more involved in. And for me, that's what I've kind of been doing. Let's come back to the site. You can see here that it's creating headers, creating heroes. It's just incredible. And I think a lot of the time we also need to remember that the thing with vibe coding, I think the reason that it is so extraordinarily popular is whatever's in your consciousness that you want to bring to life. Like before, you'd have to go to a consultancy, and even here in South Africa, you'd pay, yeah, for tens of hundreds of thousands of rands for a product that you weren't even sure would actually attract an audience or would actually do well. And so often that would be quite a great loss. It would also take weeks, months, maybe even like a year. Whereas as you can see now, it's already telling me it's finishing my Zite. And I didn't have to pay anything for this. So yeah, this is massive. The time we're in is empowering. It's massive. And I understand it's overwhelming. That's why I'm sharing what I feel has worked for myself. So now it's saying just here with a little circle, is it saying, cool, I'm creating an event registration model component. While it's doing that, I'm going to drink some pineapple and lime kombucha. I think the other thing that I'd advocate that completely is possibly, in some people's opinions, little to do with sort of vibe coding. But for me, it's actually everything is leaving your screen when you do find yourself in a loop or you don't feel like the AI has understood you. Go and walk around the garden, go and do like a basic neck stretch. And that's why when I'm not doing technical teaching, I do wellness teaching because I really find like a good stretch kind of mentally stretches my mind. And wherever I may have been stuck, all of a sudden I feel like I've got more breathing room and I come back and I'm like, cool, the project now works. So yeah, take regular breaks. I think there's even like there's an eye fatigue rule where it says every 20 minutes, look 20 meters for 20 seconds. So try and do that. Wow. While I was chatting, this is quite cool. Welcome to Ease into AI. Let's full screen it. So you can see already like just small mistakes, but they're not massive. Where this button is a bit of text that's kind of looping into the button. That's okay. We can edit that out. Let's click into browse events. And it says, cool, discover our exciting lineup of workshops. This is very cool. Very, very cool. A get in touch area. I mean, look, I could have also helped it. I could have said, these are my socials, getting in touch. Here's my WhatsApp. Here's my email address. But literally, for the fact that it did this quite unguided and in a very broad kind of prompt, I'm quite happy with this. See, at the bottom here is where I put my socials, and then I changed small things like obviously it's 2025. And the cool thing as well is you come here, you can get into like responsive mode. So this is what it looks like on a mobile. That's what responsive mode is does it work across all types of tech? So a desktop, this is a tablet here. That's what it looks like on a tablet. This is what it looks like on a desktop. Yeah. So I'm gonna just go back to this viewpoint. And then now this is where I would vibe code and I would actually come here to edit. And then I'm going to select that element there. I'm actually going to say, please remove this. That's all you got to say. That's what it means to vibe code. I'm speaking normal human English. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that's a minor change that I'd like you to please sort for me. And it says, cool, I'm planning that. And it's thinking, we want it. It's, by the way, when it's thinking, it's not thinking like a human. It's computationally thinking. It's been trained to step by step. What did Nikki say? Cool, this is what she says. Cool, then I think we should do this. And then it kind of does the action. So it says here, I asked for clarification on what to remove, asked you to specify which element to remove, provide examples. Would you like me to remove a specific section? Yeah, I'm going to say remove black squiggle is what I'm going to call it. Hopefully it hears me out. Squiggle from, let's say, underneath black browse events button. Excuse my spelling. Let's see if it gets it. I mean, if it doesn't, I would obviously go for a walk in my garden or take a break. I could even take a screenshot and actually say to it, that's what I'm talking about, that little black squiggle, please remove it. So let's see, minor change in the hero component of this. The hero, as far as I'm aware, there we go, it's gone. Look at that. How fantastic, eh? And now you press the share button, and if I wanted to, which I think I will actually, I'm going to press publish. And just like that, that's what I love about Fill Out. They always have these like confetti pops. Just like that, anyone now has access to this. So you can actually even come here. There's the web browser. And let's see if I can, hopefully I can. There we go. That's me. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and leave any comments. If there's anything that was unclear, you're welcome to get hold of me. This is me. This is what I teach. I'm from Ease into AI. Yes, I'm human. I'm based in CapeTown, but happy to collaborate on a global scale. Until next time.